Today we're going to take a look at the 12 words that seem to be the most popular amongst the black men who want to insult, attack, and demean black women online. Now, I've been online for a long time. I've been online since the CompuServe days in the early 90s, before AOL, before you could get an email address with your name. It was just a number. And soon after that came America Online, and it changed the whole game, the whole internet game. But since that time, black men have used the internet as a vehicle to attack women. And it's the most interesting thing because they're hiding cowardly behind a keyboard and venting like little kids, in every way possible, in every possible form, by email, by text. We experience it offline as well, so it's not just online. But I have noticed a certain pattern, and that pattern is that there seems to be 12 words that are used the most frequently. There are others peppered in between, but these 12, from my personal experience, seem to be the most commonly used, and they're used over and over and over by men of all ages. But one thing they do have in common is that they're all black. So I wanted to kind of go over those and address what their goal is, and just take a look at it. So I collected these words together and I put them in what I call the dumb nigga lexicon, because it's the source of their language that they use, and they don't, like I said, don't tend to use anything much else. So the number one word of choice seems to be bitter. Bitter. They will say, they will describe you as bitter, and there's a whole bunch of black women that use that shit too, and I just dig in their ass at every opportunity, because it's like, you don't need to copy off of fools and use the language that they use to demean another sister. You ought to know better than that shit. Even if you don't agree with her, you don't side with the side of a man that you don't even fucking know against another woman. What kind of shit is that? The mentality of some of these women is just really questionable, and I'll be dead on another video to dig in their asses and talk about that shit. But I'm gonna need a whole video just for that, because I have a whole bunch to say on that topic. But right now we're talking about dumb niggas, and this whole thing here, where when they get upset, like if you say anything that has to do with your history, now we're talking about your personal history or that of your family or friends, people that you have firsthand knowledge of their mistreatment at the hands of a black male or more than one. The first thing they want to do, because you're talking about your experience, is to call you bitter. And because you're supposed to, according to them, love all black men all the time, no matter what they did to you, no matter what they said, no matter how they hurt you, nothing. You are not allowed that space. You are told, you have to be happy and smiling and say only positive things about black males. Otherwise, you're bitter. And I find that to be interesting. It's to the point where they was using it so much on my Facebook page, I banned the word. It's like anybody come on my wall and you use that word, I'm immediately deleting and blocking you. No warnings, nothing. You're just gone. So don't use that shit anywhere around me, because it would just be the end of you. Their second favorite word is to say that you're single. Now, this is used in several different ways. Number one is they'll say, well, are you single? And then the second one, they'll say, that's why you're single. Now, in the first instance, are you single? What that tends to be, the way that they tend to use that is as a shaming and silencing tactic. Because if you say anything about relationship and you're critical of the black male's behavior within the confines of that relationship, they want to deflect. They don't want you to talk about that. What they want to do is say, well, since you're single, that means you don't have any credibility and no right to have a criticism of black male behavior. Now, it doesn't matter that you might have been single just for 24 hours, or that you were single because this man was beating your ass and stalking you and now he's in jail. I mean, they don't ask any questions. They don't ask any questions. It's just this assignment of a negative positioning of you, your opinion, your thoughts, your feelings, anything that you have to say, because you're not aligned with a man. Because to them, since they have this overinflated opinion of themselves, unless you are aligned with one of their booby-ad, knuckleheaded asses, then that means they're trying to get you to believe. That means that you have no credibility, no standing, you have no status, you have nothing because you don't have a man. Now, in reality, we all know that single women, especially if they just got out of a relationship or were in a long-term relationship, are usually much happier than they were in the relationship. That's why they left it. So their happiness is directly tied to their singleness. They want to be single. There are also a lot of black women who are not desperate and not picky. They are enjoying their lives very much, and they like being single because they feel like they have the time to wait for Mr. Right, just not deal with Mr. Right now, just to avoid the title of single. Yet these guys will try to press that because it's a way to manipulate you into doing what they want if you have the mentality that you gotta have a man. I talked about all this in depth in the 25 video series entitled The Manipulative Shit Black Men Say to Make Black Women Jump Through Hoops. There's a playlist set up for that. You can take a listen to all 25 of them at your leisure and get some really good information about the games they play using these terms that I'm going over today. Okay, so single. Are you single? You are single, or you must be single, and any kind of variation of that is all meant to make you feel bad about yourself because you don't have a man in your life. Now, most of these motherfuckers ain't shit anyway, so who would want to be bothered with them? Number 3, lonely. Again, that's associated with the singleness, because in their mind, if you're single, that means you're lonely. You can't possibly be single by choice. You can't possibly be making a decision not to align yourself with the men that you've met because they're not quite right. They might be great guys, but they're not really great for you. They'll be great for someone else. They don't give you that kind of credit. You don't get the right to do that. If a man wants to be with you, then according to them, you're supposed to let that happen. And if you don't, that means that you're lonely because you're just sitting around by yourself with a bunch of cats. That's the way they usually describe it. The thought that you might have a group of friends hanging out with your sorors, working and traveling the world, going on cruises, volunteering for nonprofits, organizations, working with children, developing a business, helping out your parents, aging parents. None of that crosses their mind. These guys are so narcissistic. They really honestly believe that they deserve to be the center of every single woman's universe, and a woman who does not have a man at the center of her life, there's something wrong with her, and she's very lonely. And it's just the most amazing jump in logic. Another favorite one is to say that you're angry. They try to shut you down by saying, well, you're just an angry black woman. Okay, well, when you look at the behavior of black males today towards women, it's a miracle every single woman, actually not even just black women, just women period, the way that men treat women all over the world. Is it no wonder that every woman doesn't have a spear or gun in her hand and just shoot every man on sight? You guys are knuckleheads. You mistreat people, you even mistreat each other, but you definitely mistreat anyone that you think is smaller and weaker than you, like women and children. So the fact that women are angry about that, it's about fucking time. In my book, they should have been angry decades ago, generations ago, hundreds of years ago, and not allow things to deteriorate to the level that they are now. If women had not been so afraid and stood up for themselves more, then we would be in a much better position. But the problem still exists to this day. A lot of women are just terrified of men, which I guess with good reason, because guys are bigger and stronger, and a lot of women are not as strong as I am. They're physically weak and they're physically smaller. But the bottom line is, at some point, ladies, no matter what the situation in your life is, you have got to stand up for yourself. You cannot let men manipulate and control you and beat you down with threats. And, you have the law on your side. You also have the right to exercise your constitutional right to have a weapon. And if he should jump froggy, shoot his ass. Yeah. And stop being afraid of guns. So many women are, I'm scared of a gun. You need to be scared of a nigga. That's what you need to be scared of. Guns don't kill anybody by themselves. And they are using them against you, but you guys are too afraid to fight back. That's just ridiculous to me. So yeah, get angry. Get angry at the mistreatment that you've been subjected to. Be angry at the mistreatment that your mama been subjected to. Be angry at the mistreatment that your daughters are subjected to. The street harassment, the groping, all the stuff that men do to women. You need to get angry. And then you need to do some shit about it. Okay, just don't get mad. Get busy. Then they want to call you a bitch. Now that's just, a general catch-all term. Anytime they feel like shutting a woman down, they don't want to basically hear what you got to say, they're going to lob that one out. My personal thing is, who gives a shit? You can call me whatever you want to call me, but the only bitch you really know about is your mama, the one you slid out of. So anytime you would call a woman a bitch or like a breeding dog, think of your bitch-ass mother, okay? Let's talk about her ass. You want to talk about women, let's start there, because that's the first one you laid eyes on. And whatever that bitch did, the cheating, lying, corner cutting, fucking around on her husband, and all the negative shit that you have in your mind about women, it came from her ass. So let's be realistic. Your mama wasn't shit, and that's where you formed your opinions of women, from her ass. So, go back to her and talk about her whole ass if you want to talk about somebody, and then get back to me. Jaded, that's another one, because you are tired of nigga shit and you don't want to deal with it anymore, and you tell them to get lost. Well, because you're not willing to listen to their story and give them any time and attention and devotion and all that stuff, just because they want it. Now, they haven't earned it. They haven't proven anything to you that they're different from anybody else. They just walk in the door, demanding all this stuff. And when you tell them no, then suddenly you're jaded. And that's basically a fuck you very much situation. Nobody gives a shit what you think. You call it whatever you want to, but a woman has every right to have to reach her saturation point. And it doesn't matter who the next dude is. If she's not ready, willing, or able to adjust herself to listen to him, then she's just not ready. She just don't fucking feel like it. She has something else to do, some more valuable things to do with her time. She set herself up, working on her business or going back to school or doing whatever she wants to do. She don't really have time or interest in what you're talking about. That doesn't mean that she's jaded. It just means she's sick of shit, nigger shit. But that, to me, to them, that means the same thing. If you're not willing to listen to their shit and deal with their shit, then you're jaded. Now, then they get into, the more personal things. They want to talk to you, call you fat and stupid. Those two are always used together for some reason. They'll say things like, black women are the most overweight women in the world. Oh, it's like, and so are black men. Like, greasy chicken-eating asses sitting up there cars full of fast food wrappers and donuts and shit. All of you got ED because your blood vessels are all clogged up from all that nasty, greasy food you eat all the time, the drugs you be smoking, and the lack of exercise. Sitting around playing video games and laying on the couch watching sports. Get your fat ass up and do something with yourself. House falling down around you. Y'all won't even pick up a hammer and nails and fix some shit. I'm like, you got a whole bunch of nerve trying to call somebody else fat and stupid. And the bottom line is, since so many black women are the ones doing the achieving, even the little baby mama types on welfare or whatever, you can see a lot of them making strides to better themselves. They may have been stupid when they were really, really young, but now they're 19, 20, 21, 22. They're trying to get back in school. They're trying to do more with their lives. They want to make progress. And they're they're a little behind the eight ball, I admit it. A lot of them dropped out of high school. They got to go get a GED, and, they're behind. but at least they're doing something. And for that, I'm very proud of them. Oh, my phone is talking to me. I hate it when it does that. I forgot to turn it off. You know what I mean? So at least they're doing something besides sitting around complaining that people don't want them and all this old stuff. They're trying, and I give them credit for that. Another one they'll use if you have, criticisms of black males and you talk about them. Suddenly, you're a man hater. I get called that at least 10 times a day because, I dig in niggas' asses and don't give a fuck. But they will be just so upset. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to honor your black king and basically kiss his butt and just, have nothing to say but praise for them. And these guys' self-esteem is so low that some random woman on the internet, which, you don't even really know if it's a woman because you know how the internet is. You could adopt any persona that you want to. And they will just eat that shit up. I mean, just like, thank you, queen. It's so nice to hear someone say something nice about black men, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, God, you guys are just so stupid. It's like, who goes and gets their sense of self off the internet like that from complete strangers? Don't you have people in your life that will reflect your greatness back to you? If you don't, that means you ain't doing shit, and so that's why nobody's saying anything positive to you. You got to go get it from random strangers on the internet that don't really know your do nothing, ain't about shit ass. So, I'm just looking at these guys just shaking my head. This is just pitiful. And you have the nerve to talk about a woman who demands that you do better and be greater as a man hater. She's not hating you. She's showing you the path to righteousness. And of course, you have every right not to take it. But because she's telling you that what you're doing is not good enough, that doesn't mean that she hates you. It just means she thinks you could do better. And you need to either prove her right or prove her wrong. But either way, she's not hating on you. She's just telling you where you're lacking and how you need to do better because she would expect you to do better. You have the capabilities to do so. You're just not exercising it. Okay? So ain't nobody hating on you except the people who personally know you or the people who've had interactions with you and you showed yourself to be an idiot. Then they want to hit you with this one. They want to talk about your sexuality. They want to call you lesbian, gay, that kind of thing. I have nothing against lesbians or gays. I just don't care. Who people love, that's their business. But when you trying to use that term as an insult against a heterosexual individual, okay, now you've crossed the line. You've crossed the line. Not only are you insulting that person and totally misrepresenting their orientation, you're insulting the people who are different. And that's no better than a redneck white person talking about black people. Okay, y'all get all your panties all in a bunch about that, but you have no problem insulting a woman and calling her lesbian. So, they'll say just really foul things, or you just ain't had no dick. That's what your problem is, blah, blah, blah. As if penis solves all the world's problems. If anything, it makes more in my book, but whatever. That's a different conversation. But yeah, calling women a lesbian and, women try to, they fall for it. They bite. I'm not a lesbian. I have a man, this and that. And it's like, you don't need to say all that. Just tell them to shut the fuck up because they don't know what he's fucking talking about. And my thing is, when you start talking about other people's sexuality, what you're really doing is talking about your own, because there would be no reason for you to pull that card out unless you have a lot of questions about yourself. See, so you got to take a look at that. Why would your mind even go there? You know what I mean? That's a kind of an odd thing to say to somebody just out of the blue. So that means you're examining sexuality, most likely, since the only person you really know in this conversation is yourself, then that means that's whose sexuality is confusing to you. Your own. Okay, then one of their other favorite words is to call you a feminist. Oh my God. You know how black men like to push this agenda of submission and being the king and leaders and all this old stuff. And there's a lot of stupid black women that still follow that stuff. I see them a lot on Facebook and different forums, relationship forums. They're all single women, and they all have these very unrealistic ideas about relationships. If someone says something like, would you do this and that for your man? And here they go piping up. Oh, yes, I would support my king. I would do this and that for my king, my love, my this and that. I'm like, bitch, shut up. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Sitting up here looking like stupid and showing your face in social media, talking that dumb shit. They ought to be embarrassed. But you know, just come across as thirsty as fuck. And it's like, you don't let some man you don't even know lead you by the nose like that. I mean, you're telling too much of your business. And then you got your face shining up there. Most of them have where they work, what city, where they went to school. I mean, all kind of personal information on these profiles and their face showing and telling all the kind of stuff about, you know, their sexual habits and what kind of lingerie they like to wear and all what the shit what they would do for a man. It's just like you just put an open season on your forehead to anybody who wants to game on you. Stop doing that. That's just so stupid. But you know, so these guys, like if you're a woman who doesn't fall for that trap and you like digging their ass and tell them about themselves and tell them, you know, they like, well, you know, I want my mama to fix my plate. It's like, motherfucker, I shopped and I cooked and you fix your own plate and bring me one while you at it. Oh, you're a damn feminist. Damn right. Because I believe in sharing the load. It's everybody lives in the household. I'm not going to be the sole one responsible for cleaning it up and cooking and shopping and doing all that. And working a full-time job just like you do. See, that's very unequal distribution of labor. I'm not wearing myself out like that. And I would not recommend any woman do that. And if the motherfucker don't want to carry his fair share of the load in the house, then don't cook. That was my solution. I got that nigga straight real quick. It's like, you know, I'm not gonna be going through all these changes. Are you gonna help cook? You're gonna help clean. If I cook, you wash the dishes. And if you cook, I'll wash the dishes. We'll take turns sweeping and mopping and vacuuming the house and all that old stuff. You know, one week you do it or whatever, and then the next week I'll do it, or we can both do it together. I don't really care how it works out, but I'm not going to be the one doing it all by myself. And see, when you say stuff like that, they just get so upset because they have this fantasy that you treat them like you're their little boy and you're their mommy taking care of them. And they don't like the idea that they'll be held to some kind of standard for adult responsibilities. They don't like that. So you get labeled a feminist anytime that you demand that they step up and help with the load in what might be considered a traditional situation, you know, like housework and stuff like that, child care and that kind of thing. Another one they'll hit you with is ugly. Now, this is a favorite word from the street harassers. That's usually where that comes from. Or the online harassers too. I mean, same principle, but they have this attitude like they try to get at you, right? You shoot them down. Oh, bitch, you was ugly anyway. This and that. Okay, so you were chasing after an ugly bitch. What's wrong with you? You know, I just flip it right back on them. Was it, you know, you must have known I was ugly when you sent me that, you know, was trying to holler. So what, you just like ugly bitches now? And then now you mad because even an ugly bitch don't want your ass? That sounds like what's really going on. Oh, I talk so much shit. So much shit. And, you know, they get mad. I don't give a fuck. But it's like, you know, you shouldn't have bothered me then. I was just minding my business, and you interjected yourself into my world. So be prepared for anything that comes out my mouth, because, you know, usually I'm in a bad mood. I stay in a bad mood. I just don't like people bothering me. I keep telling folks I need my alone time. Leave me alone. And they just don't want to do it. And so, you know, I get edgy when people bother me too much. And you'll never know what'll come out of my mouth. But that's what they do. You know, they want to try to make themselves feel better. I don't know if you guys remember on the slides I put up yesterday, I talked about the reasons why the genders lie. There's very different reasons. Men will lie to themselves to make themselves feel better. So in this case, he'll say, well, she was ugly anyway. I didn't want her. See, so he's telling that lie because that's his way of soothing his ego. Women will lie to soothe the egos of other people. So there's two different motivations there, and falls right down the gender lines. And, so you find men will lie to themselves a lot. You see them dudes with them comb overs and stuff. They got like one strand of hair that's real long, and they wrap it around and stuff. So it looks like from the front, like they still have some hair. But everybody in the world knows, looking at that, you motherfucker, you got one strand of hair, cut that shit off and just be bald and get it over with. But they hang on to that little one strand of hair, like it's like the last hair on earth or something. It's very funny. Men are just funny. So that's what they do. They're going to call you ugly, you know, to soothe their little bruised ego because you rejected them. And then the last one in the dumb nigga lexicon is aggressive. They call you aggressive. Now, I'd be called aggressive all the time. You know why? Because I don't take no shit from niggas. And they get upset because, see, you're supposed to, in their mind, they are the most aggressive one. And if you come back stronger than they did, they get scared because it's like that's not supposed to happen. The tables are turned, they don't really know what to do. So they'll say some like off the wall bullshit, right? And I come back guns blazing. It's like, you're not gonna talk shit to me. They say that for somebody who might give a shit like your mama, because I'm not the one. So I talk about them right back. And this happens in real life. It happens online. I gives no fucks. My neighbors, all of them. Just talk shit to all of them. I don't care. It's like, because you say something that's off color to me, I'm going to cut your fucking jugular vein and you watch you bleed out. I have no filter on that. And you say some fucked up shit to me, you just be prepared to have your feelings hurt triple. So these dudes, when you come back at them like that, then they call you aggressive. And it may be, I don't know, I don't really care. But usually when a man says aggressive, what he means is that you have the same temper and the same response patterns as a male. They don't want that because most of these dudes are punk bitch anyway. Little pink panty lace wearing fuckers. So when you come back at them just like a dude would, they kind of scared. They don't know what to do and how to handle it. And my thing is this, just don't fuck with me. Leave me alone. I just do my little stuff, you know what I mean? I don't mess with anybody. I don't go looking to start any shit with nobody. They come to my page and start shit. They come to my Facebook page, they come to my websites, and they come to my wall on YouTube channel, whatever the fuck they call it, with their bullshit. I don't go to theirs with bullshit. When I go say something to them, I'm usually checking them about something they said about me. So it's not like I'm looking, to start any shit. But I will definitely, finish it. And it's just not, it's not something I want to do. I just don't really feel like spending my time like that. But, I have more important things to do. But I've just noticed that when you come back strong on them, that's the first thing they do. They want to say that you're aggressive because you talk shit to them just like a nigger. And they're like, what? You supposed to be a woman? I am a woman, motherfucker, but I'm not a woman that's going to take some shit from you. There's a difference. So that's my comment on that. And I hope you find the humor in it as I did, dumbass shit, the dumb nigga lexicon. Because if, you may even think of some other words. Like I said, there's plenty that they use, other words that they use. But these I have found tend to be the most commonly used, and they're used over and over and over and over by black men of all races, of all ages, and it really just doesn't matter. They just seem like they all go to the same source and will pull out the exact same phraseology in their attempts to demean, discredit, and discount black females online. My name is Deborah Cooper. You can find more of my writings on survivingdating.com and askheartbeat.com. I'll be back with another video very shortly, probably tomorrow. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.